Yep, so what happened was today at the high school, there were some students who last evening had posted on Facebook that they wanted to have a sit-in to protest the new hall pass procedures that were put in place by the administration, the building leadership team. We were alerted to that. We asked, we talked to the high school administration. The high school administration had found out that the kids were going to do a sit-in, so then they asked the kids to join them in the East Cafeteria this morning. They had put that out on Facebook and a couple other places. Students were invited into the cafeteria. About 350 students went into the cafeteria at the time. Mr. Graymont, the principal, had said, this is a listening session. We're going to ask you for some input, but then we'll be making a decision, kind of down the road. That's my understanding. The students was getting close to the bell ringing at 7:26. About 200 plus students at that time were asked, you can head back to class now if you'd like. They did. About 125 students stayed in the cafeteria, and they continued to ask questions. Mr. Graymont continued to say that that he had wanted the students to head back to class. A handful of students started to kind of chant, and then what ended up happening from there is probably best described by the students who had written me these notes after we had gone up there. It basically ended with about 70 to 90 students running from the cafeteria, the east cafeteria, to the west cafeteria, and kind of group mob mentality. The kids just started to run together, and then from there they went to the high school field house, where with the help of law enforcement, the administration, law enforcement were able to contain the students. And we got in there, and myself and another police officer, we asked the kids to sit down. And after about a minute, they were very respectful. They sat down, or most of them sat down. And then we asked that, what's the core here? What's the problem? And at that point, I saw in their faces like, oh my gosh, this wasn't supposed to happen. A handful of kids started running. We all started to run with them, and then, they wrote me kind of their perception of what had happened. Law enforcement was a great partner, and basically the kids, many letters that I got from the students, Mr. Neitzke, I didn't know how that happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I was scared. As soon as I saw someone tear down a poster and knock over a trash can, I didn't know where to go. The classrooms were locked because we were in a soft lockdown, and I just ended up with the group. This got way out of control. I should have never gone to this. I should have gone to class and not sat into this nonviolent protest. I'm really sorry for my actions. It's a young woman. And each of these basically say that over and over again from the different students who were there. So I want to believe in my heart that 2,200 kids today went to school to learn, and that's what they did. And 100 students got caught up. About 70 of them went too far, and I think they all regret it. So we'll address the policy and the practice of the hall pass piece and listen to the kids some more, but never this way. And I believe that there's a high level of regret on many of those students, but also a valuable lesson for us to make sure that we hear their voices.
How long was the school in lockdown for today?
Just about 45 minutes. We were in lockdown 45, 50 minutes, and then we immediately we emailed parents as fast as we could, and we did an all call to the parents as well, so that the high school parents could hear from us, that we were in a lockdown and that the students, there had been a disruption. But we're back in normal class procedures. I walked through the cafeterias today and with another administrator, and we thanked all the kids for making great choices and not participating or making poor choices, and heard from a lot of them that they were not happy with their classmates. But again, we got to move forward. There will be consequences for the students who made poor choices and went beyond just a quiet sit-in and started running and ripping stuff down off the walls. So, but to my knowledge, at this time, there were a lot of rumors on Facebook. There was no one was punched that I know of. No administrator was hit, and that I know for a fact. No teacher was hit. I know that for a fact. But we'll investigate and find out if there were any altercations, and we will move forward with our investigation, disciplinary actions as needed.
Was anybody injured in the incidents from this morning?
No, not to my knowledge.
Anything else you'd be willing to say right now?
Just that it's a sad day for me, that every single day there's 180 days of school. The majority of kids always make really, really good choices. And I want to believe that these kids who got caught up in it today really regret it. But unfortunately, sometimes we make decisions in a minute, and it can shift your whole life. So we'll manage this very carefully with the students and their families, but we're going to work hard to make sure that there are consequences for those who went too far, and that we hear the kids, but may or may not lead to any changes, but we will definitely make sure that our students are safe every day.